You know, the Calgary Flames are one team that I have said time and time again throughout the season. I've made quite a few videos of them, at least a couple, and I would say really surprised me and really surprised a lot of other people. Now, I did see a lot of Flames fans online saying that, they should have just tanked. They should have just tanked. Or, essentially, I understand what they're saying, that the Flames, just missed the playoffs, and that can tend to be what's called hockey purgatory. It's you're not bad enough to get a top pick, but you're not you're kind of in the middle where you're just not getting those top picks essentially. And while I do understand that point of view from a lot of fans, I push back on it a little bit. That isn't the only way to build a hockey team. You can build a hockey team through good trades, smart drafting, definitely good trades, and just making smart moves over a 5-year span. Now, that is not for sure either, right? You could still not build a good team that way. I just kind of want to dispel the notion that you can't be good in the mushy middle, quote unquote. Now, when we talk about the Calgary Flames, I am very interested to see exactly how they go about this offseason, because I'm not exactly sure which way they go. On one hand, they just almost made the playoffs, so why not grow on that? That's probably where I am right now. I'm not sure if I'm saying that they should necessarily trade their draft picks, and I do believe that they have 2 first-round draft selections. I don't necessarily think that they should trade those selections, but I think that they should try to be aggressive if they can. Now, some teams I'm okay with them trading draft picks. I wouldn't say I'm there with the Flames. Like the Montreal Canadiens, for example, I want them to trade their draft picks straight up. I want them to go really hard. I'm not quite there with the Flames at this point, although I would like them to be aggressive in the trade market, possibly, and free agency. Why not? So the article we're going to be reading off today is a really good one. Could the Flames be major players in NHL free agency? I'm not totally against this, and they're making a lot of good points in the article. The article continues, friends, there are 2 things we know about the Calgary Flames right now. The first is that they feel like they took a big step forward in 24-25, posting 96 points and missing out on the Stanley Cup Playoffs on tiebreakers, in a season where many thought they would be bottom dwellers. The second is that the Flames have, mathematically speaking, oodles of salary cap space heading into the offseason. This is the whole point. They are going to be able to outbid teams in terms of what they can pay some of the top players. You could look at Nikolai Ehlers, for example. Now, Nikolai Ehlers might want to go to a more competitive team, but you could also tell Nikolai Ehlers, look, we almost made the Stanley Cup playoffs. We were that close. With you, we probably would have, and perhaps he would consider coming over because of that. The article continues, and the combination of some upward standing momentum and ample cap space has led some to ponder whether the Flames will be a main character in the upcoming free agent market. On Tuesday, over at the Daily Faceoff, Anthony DeMarco reported that the Flames could be big game hunting this offseason. Speaking with a source close to the situation in Calgary, the Flames are going to explore ways to bolster their lineup this summer. But the plan is not to acquire just any name. If the Flames are to make an outside addition, it will be a top UFA or trade target. Based on conversations I've had with those inside the organization, the Flames plan to go big game hunting. Love to see that in free agency. If Calgary cannot land one of the bigger name free agents, they will explore the trade market or carry their cap space into next season and go from there. So here's the thing. I've always said this, that cap space is a weapon. You can use cap space to take on a bad contract, get an asset, and you can also use cap space to outbid other teams. Yes, those teams that might be able to try to get a player, they might, they might be better teams on paper than the Flames, but some players can just get wooed by the money. Some players would look at Calgary's performance last year, and say, maybe I would be willing to give this team a chance. Now, their broad salary cap situation is Huberdeau at 10 million, Kadri at 7 million, Coronado at 6.5. I love that Coronado contract. They have a lot of guys like Backlund at 4.5, Coleman at 4.9. Then you look at their defense of Uyghur at 6.25, Rasmus Anderson 4.55. I'm really interested in what's they're actually going to do with Anderson. Jake Bean at 1.75, goaltender Dustin Wolf, who by the way had an excellent season this year. So the article continues. They have about $64.87 million committed under the $95.5 million salary cap, leaving them $30.63 million in space. Wow. Once they have locked up restricted free agents Morgan Frost, Connor Zary, they'll still have tons of cap space. That's not a bad situation for them, man. Like, that is tons of cap space. I'm not sure if they will be able to woo top free agents just based off of that, but it does put them in a pretty interesting situation for free agency. Based on what Flames general manager Craig Conroy was saying during exit interviews last month, don't expect the Flames to spend just willy-nilly. Our goal is to make the playoffs and go from there, said Conroy, but it's going to take some more young guys, and we're going to look in free agency to see if there's something that makes sense. Again, we're not just going to spend money. Asked if a quiet free agent period could be expected, Conroy noted that he's challenged the pro scouting group to find, quote, difference maker players that could be long-term fits, but acknowledged that the unlikely the club's wish list would be a very long one. Okay, so I think, though, that what a general manager says and what they're actually looking for are two different things, that the Flames probably aren't trying to set up their fans for disappointment, but I really do see this as a possibility. Like, I would be okay with them going after a Nikolai Ehlers, for example, or, I mean, you could even say a Mitch Marner. I mean, can you imagine if they were able to get Mitch Marner? Like, I'm not sure if that would make them a playoff team, but you could argue it. I mean, 100-point winger with the Calgary Flames, if they were able to get him, like, I think that Mitch Marner in Toronto is as good as gone. I don't care that they're on a playoff run right now to some degree, possibly going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think Mitch Marner's gone. I would go all in on both Ehlers and Mitch Marner if I was the Flames and try to woo him as much as possible. He's still a really good player. Anyways, I'm going to leave the video here. Why don't you guys tell me what you think? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And make sure to have a great day, guys. Goodbye.